Ryanair has walked away from a deal with Boeing to order the new Boeing 737 MAX10 aircraft, the biggest 737 ever made, because they couldn't agree on price. And there's been quite a public spat between the two companies going tit for tat at the moment. So if you guys like drama, then buckle down and let's jump into today's video. So this news actually happened 3 days ago as of the recording, but I wanted to wait and see what happened before I really dove into why this story is just so hilarious. So if you didn't know, Ryanair has ordered Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft. Currently, according to planespotters.net, they have 14 delivered, but it's a nice compliment to the existing 419 Boeing 737 800 next generation aircraft that Ryanair currently involves. And Ryanair loves these planes because they can fly to smaller regional airports around Europe. That means they're very cheap. However, they can't fly over the Atlantic Ocean at this current stage, meaning Ryanair doesn't have the ability to launch transatlantic routes. And after seeing what happened with Norwegian Airlines, I don't think that they have the appetite. So what exactly happened between Ryanair and Boeing? According to The Guardian, Ryanair was in deep negotiations with Boeing in acquiring a huge order of Boeing 737 MAX10 aircraft. Because they're so large, Ryanair would be able to fit in as many seats as possible and significantly increase its profit margins. They wanted to bring their fleet up from around 400, 450 to 600 aircraft. So this would be an order of maybe up to 100 Boeing 737 MAX planes. It was believed that they had the upper hand in the negotiations at the time due to, and I quote, because Boeing have recorded remarkably few orders for the aircraft and they need a couple of large MAX 10 planes. So Ryanair was banking on the fact that Boeing was rather desperate, and considering the aviation market is down at the moment, they thought that they could get in with a very good deal. Because if it's anything that we know, Ryanair is all about those deals. Speaking on their ambitious plans, Ryanair said, "We have a more than sufficient order pipeline to allow us to strongly grow over the next 5 years with a Boeing 737 fleet, which will rise to more than 600 aircraft and enable Ryanair to capitalize on the extraordinary growth opportunities that are emerging all over Europe as the continent recovers from the COVID pandemic." So really, Ryanair is looking to expand with many other smaller airlines into all of those regional countries that you kind of want to fly to, but only for the right price. Countries like Malta, for example, and other regional areas in Eastern Europe, trying to take on Wizz Air, it seems, for the crown for the largest network of low-cost carriers across the world. However, that all fell apart when Ryanair walked away from the table of negotiations with Boeing due to price. Ryanair said, "Negotiations with Boeing for a MAX 10 order have ended without any agreement on pricing," saying that an order for up to 250 aircraft have been walked away from because Boeing was charging too much. And the CEO of Ryanair, Michael O'Leary, said this very snarky comment about it. "We are disappointed that we couldn't reach an agreement with Boeing on the MAX 10 order. However, Boeing have a more optimistic outlook on aircraft pricing than we do, and we have a more disciplined track record for not paying high prices for aircraft." So it looks like that they're definitely not going to pay the prices that Boeing wants for these planes and have walked away to say no thanks today. Boeing did have this rebuttal to them, saying, "Ryanair is a long-standing partner. At the same time, we continue to be disciplined and make decisions that make sense for our customers and company," which is just kind of hilarious because you know Ryanair's got nowhere to go. Real talk. They can't go to Airbus because Airbus's backlog of A320s is so huge that Ryanair would really not be a priority delivery for them for years. Boeing has the gaps in capacity, especially with the MAX 10 area, that they could easily swoop in and have planes flying in the sky in the next 2 years. So they can't go to Airbus. Plus, we also need to remember that Ryanair betrayed Airbus a very long time ago. Airbus went to town to wine and dine one of the largest low-cost carriers in Europe, only to be betrayed at the last minute, where Ryanair used that deal with Airbus to get cheaper 737 planes from Boeing. So Airbus is definitely not going to be tricked again, and they know better than to dance with the devil. But there is another player on the market that Ryanair has still said that they're interested in working with, which I find to be absolutely fascinating. And of course, that's Comac with their C919. The Comac plane featured here on the Chinese news network is the equivalent of the 737 or the Airbus A320 and perfect for large countries such as China or Europe. Ryanair has said that they've always been interested in ordering this plane from the Chinese manufacturer Comac, and I'll put a whole video up in the corner all about Chinese aircraft that I've done on my other channel, where they think that it's going to be perfect for the market. Back in 2011, Ryanair said that if they can get the costs right, then we can certainly place a big order with them, saying that they're now committed to Comac in the same way that they're committed to Boeing. And they reiterated this commitment to the Chinese manufacturer back in 2020. But it seems in this argument, it's all about Comac actually bringing the plane to the market, whether or not Ryanair is actually going to order it. Because there's nothing actually stopping Ryanair making a full paid commitment to the Chinese airline manufacturer, but at this current time, the C919 is not really flying anywhere, especially not in Europe. It's not even been approved to fly in Europe. It's not even a thing yet. Like, we're so far ahead down the line that I think that it's just another paper empty threat to Boeing. So what do you think's going to happen? Do you think Ryanair's going to go with their tail between the legs back to Boeing? Do you think that Airbus at the last minute will throw in a save and secure that business deal for pretty much at cost price? Let me know down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this analysis of these deals happening in the world of aviation, then I recommend that you subscribe. Thanks again so much for watching.